Another gardening season is coming to an end, and I have a few things left in my greenhouse that I need to do something with. And the first one of those is rosemary. So I have all this beautiful rosemary here growing behind me, and I have a couple of ideas of what I could be doing with this. Now the first one is I want to make a rosemary jelly. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love rosemary. So I can just imagine how this would be so good with crackers and cream cheese and a little bit of this jelly on top, or even with a nice steak or roast drizzled on top, warmed up and drizzled on top for a little bit of sweetness. I've never made this before, but I can just picture how good this could be. So with that in mind, what we need to do first is I need to gather 1 1/4 cups of this rosemary, very well packed inside of a measuring cup. So I'm going to start by gathering my rosemary. And now we're going to take this inside and get it started. You're going to start by washing the rosemary really well, adding 3 1/4 cups of water to your saucepan, and then adding your herbs to this pan. Bring everything over to your stove top and bring this to a boil. Once it's boiling, you're going to put the cover on top, turn off the heat, and let this sit undisturbed for 20 minutes and let the flavors infuse in the water. Once the 20 minutes are up, you're going to pour the liquid through a cheesecloth and a colander just to let the liquids drip out of your herbs. Let them sit undisturbed until all the liquid seems to have come out of your rosemary. Now that we have let our rosemary infusion drip through the colander and come out, just left it undisturbed. This time I was really good and I didn't squeeze in any cheesecloths. So I really just let it drip. So what we need to do now is we're going to measure out 3 cups of this liquid into a pot. And by the way, this smells amazing. If you like rosemary as much as I do, like this just smells like it's incredible. After that, you're going to whisk in your crystal pectin. So mine come in packages of 57 grams, so that's what I have here. So we're just going to whisk this in, and after that, it's going to go to the stove top, and we're going to bring all of this to a boil. You can add half a teaspoon of butter if you're concerned about foaming. I've turned up the heat on my rosemary infusion, so I'm warming that up. And I've also got my steam canner heating up because we will be preserving these using the steam canner. I also have my jars in there heating up. You only really need to leave your jars in the steam canner long enough to warm them up, but I just leave them there. So now we just need to bring this to a boil. Once our infusion is boiling, we are going to add all of our sugar at once. So there's 4 cups of sugar. We will return that to a full rolling boil for 1 minute, and then our jelly's done. There was not a lot of foam to skim off the top, so now let's quickly get this rosemary jelly inside the jars. I don't know if I've said it yet, but it's the first time I've made this recipe. When you look at the picture of this jelly, there's a little sprig of rosemary in it. But when you read the recipe, it doesn't say to add a sprig of rosemary. So I'm going to do like the picture because it's just so pretty with the rosemary in it. So I'm going to take my little bottle of jam and I'm just going to put a little sprig of rosemary on top because it's just so pretty. And if I wasn't supposed to, then they have to change their pictures in the book. You want to make sure that you wipe down the rims of your jars very well so that there's nothing stopping your jars from properly sealing. You're just using water. Your rings fingertip tight. Transfer them over to your canner. I have transferred all my jars over to my canner. If I didn't say yet, I'm using the smaller jars, the 125 milliliter jars, but you can use the larger size, the 250 milliliter if you want. I've ended up with 8 jars. They look absolutely gorgeous. They're so nice and clear. So all that's left to do is to put the cover on. As you can see, it's already pretty well heating up. And this is my steam canner. So what I need to do is I need to put the cover on, and you'll see the dial here in the middle. So that dial is going to move, and for me I need to be in the green section. So I leave that on and I start timing. When the dial gets to the green section, that's where I need to be for my altitude. So that's all that's left to do. We have to process this for 10 minutes. And once it's done, we leave it inside the canner for 5 minutes before removing the cover. Very simple, very quick. Canner is done. Time to take them out. As soon as I take the cover on, you can hear them all starting to seal. These are absolutely gorgeous. Have a look. So pretty. You could put some dye in it if you wanted to. Dye them green. Not really into dyeing things or putting artificial things if I don't have to, although it is full of sugar. But, okay, now, of course I had some left over. And as you can see, it's already starting to set really nice. It's already getting really nice and thick. Not only do I have some left over, but I also can't go by without tasting it. So like I said, this is the first time. So I did have some crackers, not really great crackers, but hey, a cracker's a cracker. I spread some cream cheese on there and a little bit of that rosemary jelly on top, just so I can give it a taste, because I'm so curious. Should have taken a smaller cracker. It's so nice. The rosemary is not overpowering at all. It's like when it was infusing, it smelled really good, but I thought, it might be a little bit too strong, but it's absolutely perfect. Like, not too much rosemary, a little bit of sweetness with the cream cheese and cracker. Makes it an excellent addition to any charcuterie board or any appetizer that you'd like to make with it. So, very good. As usual, you're going to leave your jars undisturbed for 24 hours. Don't touch them, let them sit. Once the 24 hours are up, be sure to remove your rings. Don't store them with your rings on top. You can store that in a cool, dry, dark environment. They'll last at least a year, if not more. Write the year you canned them and what's in your jar. When you start getting a lot of canning in your pantry, you can forget either what you have or when you canned it. So be sure to write on top of the jar what it is that you have inside. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, don't be shy, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to check back again soon to see what other content I will have coming up. I just threw the jam on the floor.